How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame. We're back with another FPL live stream here on Twitch. It is double game week 16 time. Double game week 25 is behind us. I did decently well. I got a small green arrow, but it's better than what I've been getting in the last 2 weeks. My differential picks paid off. I got punished by Fernandez, but not by Salah. And Ings was not a great choice on the wild card, turns out. But if you went triple leads, if you went Dallas, Rafinha, and Bamford, you did quite well. If you captained one of them, you certainly did quite well. City was a bit underwhelming. If you kept Sterling and kept the faith, then you did well as well. But yeah, overall, it was a bit of a mixed bag. There's some pretty high scores. There's also going to be some really low scores as well, depending on who you had. But yeah, just want to do a quick shout out to Horton0123. Thank you for the follow, as well as Sherry5. Thank you for following as well. But yeah, if you're watching this over on YouTube, we do these live streams over on Twitch. The next one will be for the Game Week 26 deadline on Saturday. So yeah, we'll be here bright and early for that one as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I want to ask, what was the Game Week average? It says the average points was 55, but I believe in the top 10K it was around 72, something like that. So enough for like a 30K green arrow for me. So nothing too crazy, but it was a green arrow. So I'll definitely take it. Fernandez definitely hurt, but Lookman, Aina, Areola was fantastic. So got 94. Yeah, that's a great score. That's one of the bigger ones for sure. One of the bigger ones for sure. But yeah, if you captained Rafinha, you were quite happy. If you captained Ings this week, you were probably not too happy at all. Captaining Bamford was quite good. If you went with Fernandez, you did quite well. Triple captain Kane versus DCL. Also, thank you for the follow, Sherry. I don't know if you were here. I said it a little bit earlier, but yeah, thank you for the follow. Triple captain Kane versus DCL. You gotta pick Kane, don't you? Surely. Just because of the fixtures. I think in the last, I think it was, somebody put up a stat. I can't remember where it was from. But it was the last 14 games that Kane has played combined versus Fulham and Burnley. He scored 14 goals and got 3 assists. So what does that tell you? I think he's going to do quite well. But also Southampton, again, scoring conceding 3 versus Leeds. Romeu looks to be injured again. Wouldn't put it past DCL to get a couple in this game week too. But again, Kane's Harry Kane. You know, this is what we've been leading up to. I think, me personally, I would if I had both of my team, I find it hard pressed to pick between the two. But I think Kane's probably the best. Then maybe Fernandez and DCL are probably on a similar level. But yeah, you gonna hold Ings for game week 26 into double game week 27? Definitely not. Ings is definitely gonna go for my team for sure. Winning with all these managers, Jose, and player rumors affecting the team form. Yeah, it could be, but you know what we're going to get out of Kane. Kane's going to go out there. He's the captain. He's going to go out there and try to essentially win the game. And they know they need to kind of get some points back because these are the games they need to win. Like if you look at Spurs' next few fixtures, they got to beat Burnley. They got to beat Fulham, they got to beat Crystal Palace. Those 3 games have to be win-win-win. They can't be anything short of that. Arsenal, they need to get at least a point. Villa, you're looking at least a point there. Newcastle, they have to beat. United and Everton, they can't afford to really drop points in any of these games if they want any aspirations of top 6. But yeah. DCL, if you want a huge differential. Yeah, I think a lot of people... So Kane's ownership right now, if we take a quick look at it... it's 27%. I expect that to be over 100% effective ownership for sure going into this game week. That's probably going to be almost definitely the case. Hey Zodiac, how's it going? Satisfied with your game week? Could have been better. Could have been better. I'm just glad that all the players that I put out on the field scored more points than the ones on my bench this week for once, which is great. So I'll take it. Do you think Grealish will be out for the next game week? He's definitely, I think, going to be out for when they play Leeds. So, yeah. We'll see. We have to kind of wait and see for... this week for sure. Definitely wait for, press conferences because you can't have a player going into the first set of doubles and they're not going to play, because then you're going to be in a sticky situation where they might not play for both, and then it's just a waste, especially if you're on a bench boost like myself. But yeah. Kane is awesome. Love to see the good games. Yeah, I mean, I hope Kane... that's who I'm going to put the captaincy on, almost certainly. I would think. And I think if you're kind of debating, okay, I definitely want Kane or Son, which one to captain? Kane is a better captain versus Burnley, because they're going to sit there and park the bus, and he's going to be in and around the box, which is where you want him to be. Son's really not necessarily going to get him behind. And also a set piece. If they're going to win something, Kane's probably going to be most likely. And same for Fulham. Fulham are going to defend quite nicely. Maybe Son gets something on the break, but I think Fulham are very well organized as well. So you think Kane is probably another Kane game, as it were. I made 88 points this week. That's very good. Mono showing the love to Zodiac and Zaka. 118k overall, looking good. Bench points 7, 6, 7, 7. It's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. Thoughts on buying Pereira from Leicester? He played as a right wing against Aston Villa. Well, I currently have him. I brought him in for the foreseeable future as well. So yeah, I think he's definitely going to be someone who is going to be quite good, especially for this coming game week as well. Arsenal and Burnley, two teams that don't necessarily score much. He's probably not going to play in Europe, even though it is 0-0. If they can get away with not playing him, they will, which bodes well for Pereira owners or people who are looking to bring him in. If you want to go for the safe pick, go for like Soyuncu or something like that. But he's still a bit, injury prone this season as well. Is there any good bench boost, other good bench boost game weeks? I think in the mid to low 30s, there's going to be a double game week. But basically, what you need to look is on your bench is like, if you're going to use the bench boost, can I get 16 plus points out of my bench this week? Then it's probably a good time to use the bench boost. That's what I would look at it. So if you had like, let's say you looked at my bench right now. So let's say Martinez, Watkins, and Target were up against Brighton or Fulham or somebody like that. You would say that's probably, they could probably get me 4 points apiece maybe. And then Pereira, let's say he's got a fixture against Burnley. You're probably saying, okay, that's pretty good. And then you kind of have to dock off hits for that. So I say like 15, 16 points is like a solid bench boost. And then you have to count for hits. So if you took one hit, then it would be 20 points would be a good bench boost, and so on and so forth. I won't get in Son or Kane in 26 because Burnley and Fulham have a good defense. Too risky. They have been posting good numbers as of late. However, Kane himself specifically does damage versus those two teams. So that's basically, I'm going off basically historics and the fixtures on paper. Like if Spurs, if you're not going to bring in Kane for these two fixtures, then you're not going to bring in Kane for basically anything. Pretty much. Even Son as well. You might as well just get rid of him. Which is basically what I'm doing. After these three fixtures, where they play Burnley, Fulham, Crystal Palace, I'm getting rid of the Spurs players. Even though Kane might do good versus Arsenal, I'm getting rid of him to bring back in Fernandes for 28 onwards. Overall, 251 points on my bench, 10 bench points each round. Yeah, that's not great, is it? Shaw got robbed of bonus points, so unlucky. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit unfortunate. I mean, he creates chances as well, which he's been doing quite a lot of. My criticism of him as a United player has, one, been his injury record, and two, sometimes his just positional awareness, kind of like being in line to make a line for the defense. So like there are times where United will set up a shape, and then all of a sudden he'll get dragged out of position, and then there's a huge gap in behind him. So something that people criticize Trent for is something that Shaw doesn't necessarily do as much as Trent does, because Trent is typically higher up the pitch, but has been a criticism of his game before. And if you do get in that position where you're caught out, you need to be busting your tail back, and that kind of doesn't necessarily happen as often as I would like to see. But definitely creation-wise and attacking output-wise, he's been excellent. His set-piece delivery is fantastic. We just need to have somebody who could literally put the ball on target and from a set-piece, and he would be getting assist after assist after assist every week. So, yeah. Hopefully can get some of that versus Palace and Chelsea, maybe. I will get Kane and Son in for game week 29. Yeah, I'm going to have that too. So basically, I'm going to be getting rid of them probably for 28, assuming things go to plan. And then in 29, I'll have them on the free hit. And then I probably don't want them back until, maybe these couple of fixtures, Sheffield United and Leeds. And then after that, probably don't want them anymore. Bamford got robbed of bonus. Well, Bamford kind of had a couple of dribbles which he kind of messed up too. So, yeah, he being 1 BPS off was a bit unlucky. I was kind of hoping for it because it was effectively 2 points because I captained him. So yeah. Gameweek 26 team is this: Martinez, Cancelo, Diaz, James, as in James from Chelsea, I would assume. Salah, Fernandez, Gundogan, Madison, DCL, Bamford, Vardy. I would say if you can get rid of James for somebody because he's not guaranteed to start both. If you have a little bit of extra money, I would say Azpilicueta. If you wanted to go that route, I would say Luke Shaw has a decent double game week. Any Leicester defender probably. Target. If you don't have triple Villa already, those sorts of players I would say is probably best for to replace James with, basically. But yeah, overall my team did okay. 6 points for our, like the Fulham game I was so happy with that. Lookman's goal was kind of lucky, but the clean sheet was definitely deserved. I don't think Sheffield United was great overall. Rafinha did well. Bamford captain, happy with the captain return, and happy with no bench points on the bench, really. And Cancelo getting a yellow was a bit annoying. De Bruyne coming off at 60 minutes, kind of figured that would happen, but 3 points either side, not terrible by the end of it. Might take a -4 for Shaw. Then it would be a -8 in the double game week, including my 2 free transfers. Oh, so you must have really repaired your team there. The only thing is with the likes of Leicester's, they still have a game to play on Thursday, so I would have held off unless you were really priced out and that's exactly what the move you wanted to go with. Then I would have said hold off, basically. But I know some people have gone early as well. So Kane and Son are pricey, but can easily weigh in better versus Leicester. Madison maybe injured, and Villa, Grealish may be injured as well. Yeah, I mean that's for sure. I mean, their 2 fixtures are great. Like, if you look at the amount of captaincy options that are for this week, Kane has Fulham and Burnley. Fernandez has Chelsea away, which is an away fixture, but he might not get anything in that. But Crystal Palace away, who, can concede quite a few goals. Salah has Sheffield United and Chelsea. Sheffield United is probably a better fixture for him, but again, they're not in the greatest of form. Everton has Southampton and West Brom, 2 good fixtures. You also have the City Boys up against Wolves and West Ham. So you have a lot of different options. They all have their kind of drawbacks. So with a Spurs player, their form isn't great, but they have great fixtures. With City, their fixtures are pretty good. They might not score a boatload against them, but they're also a rotation risk. Fernandez is the same boat as Salah. Has 1 bad fixture versus Chelsea, but 1 good fixture versus Palace, or in Salah's case, Sheffield United. With Everton's case, it's just which Everton is going to show up. The dominant one we saw at the beginning of the season, or the kind of mediocre one that kind of drop points randomly to Fulham when they have good fixtures. So, and then Leicester, don't really know what you're going to get with Leicester. Sometimes against the teams they should beat, they drop points, and against the teams they shouldn't beat, like you would think, oh, it'd be Aston Villa, it'd be a tough game, and they just kind of smacked them aside and just said, yeah, we're better than you, type of thing. So yeah, it is a bit tricky this week. There could be a lot of captaincy options that do well this week. It's just a matter of which one you pick. So Zach says my gaming team: Johnston, Cancelo, Stones, Digne, Loughton, or Burn. I mean, Burn's probably more likely to keep a clean sheet, but Loughton has a double, so you're probably more inclined to play him. Gundogan, Barnes, Son, Bruno, Salah, and Kane captain. Yeah, looks good, personally. Hey, Nuka, how's it going? I wouldn't say repair. I just think far ahead. If everything goes to plan, I know what to do until Game Week 31. Yeah, I literally have a Word document that I kind of have a guideline for basically if everything stays the same, which it won't, but my general plan of what players I want to have for certain game weeks all the way up until the end of the season, pretty much. Now there are some things that can change that, like FA Cup and all that sort of stuff. Um, so yeah. I have a feeling that Werner's about to go on a scoring run after that Atletico win. Very well could. Very well could. I suppose that's true. One good game like Leeds United tonight can give a nice cleanup. Poor versus Wolves and super. Yeah, exactly. So Bruno can get brace assist versus Crystal Palace and get 3 points versus Chelsea. But you'll take that every... Like Gundogan in the double game week in 24. 2 goals and an assist, but didn't play the second game. You'll take that every day of the week. Whether it's a triple captain or not. You would have liked more. You can be a little bit more greedy and you say, I want more points, but yeah. Meslier did well tonight as well. Didn't get an own goal, so he kind of made up for it. So he would have ended up with... what would he have ended up with? 5 saves, so he's got 6 plus 1 plus 3, 9. So he would have made up for 2 bonus points, so 8. So he would have averaged, what, 4 points? You would have taken that. You would have definitely taken that. For sure. Werner, no proof, plenty of time to keep an eye on him. Yeah, exactly. I'm eyeing him up potentially for Chelsea's run in from 28 onwards. Because I think they play like Leeds, West Brom, Crystal Palace or something in that run. If I take another -4 for James, then he has to have double gaming 26 and play in 29. So it can... For my Villa defense, but I got Martinez. Spurs defense, take a chance on a Brighton defender with a single game week in 26. I mean, yeah, that works too. Meslier was very good tonight. Yeah, he's only 20, I think, as well, which is crazy. Keeping an eye on Neto, he's one to watch. He's a really good young talent. Yeah, unfortunately, if Raul Jimenez was in the team, I would say Neto would be almost auto-include pretty much in all our teams because of how good he is at his price. He's basically playing like Rafinha. The problem is that he has no one to give the ball to. He doesn't have a Bamford. He doesn't have a Harrison on the other wing. He's just kind of playing by himself. Chelsea's such a big squad, you wouldn't know who to play. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the situation here. Like, you could give somebody the Chelsea squad to different people, and they will play different players. And it also depends on the opposition, too. Chelsea squad is kind of flexible. Like, the way Tuchel is playing... Chelsea at the moment, I wouldn't necessarily play that team the way it is. I'd play a little bit different. I've said on past streams that I would go with a 4-2-2-2 system, but he's going with a 3-4-3. Not too bad. Neto's not in Wolves next season, that's for sure. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Maybe he thinks that he potentially got robbed of a season without Raul Jimenez because he got injured. If Wolves happen to get dragged into a relegation fight and get relegated, he definitely won't be at Wolves next season. That's for sure. Neto and Rafinha could be gone. Yeah, a lot of people are touting Rafinha, but I think Rafinha is someone who just went to Leeds. Maybe stays there another season, sees how it goes. Because, again, Rafinha wouldn't have played with Leeds fans there, so he may want to see what that's like. Meslier, my favorite Premier League goalkeeper. He is a bit interesting, I would say. Imagine Neto in Spurs. He'd be perfect there. Neto typically plays off the... Well, he could play either side. So yeah, I mean, they could, if Bale were to leave, then yeah, he could play on the right hand side. That'd be pretty good. Son left, Neto right. Yeah, that makes sense. That would make sense. And if you wanted to give players a night off, you could put Neto on the left. Give Son a break, put Vinicius through the middle if they sign him permanently, and then put like Bergwijn or Lucas Moura on the right, something like that. I can see that. But yeah, let's take a look at our predictions, how we did for this week. So I predicted a Leeds win. That didn't happen. So that was a 1-0 for Wolves. Southampton versus Chelsea. That was a draw, so nothing there. I got the 0-0 right for Burnley West Brom. Pretty easy to kind of figure out. Mind you, I did think that it was in jeopardy when West Brom got the red card. Liverpool lost to Everton for the first time since 1999 at home. So yeah, Merseyside derby didn't go their way. Fulham 1-0 win, so we get 1 point for that. West Ham versus Spurs, got that wrong. It was 2-1 the other way. Leicester beat Villa 2-1 exactly, so got that score right, so not too bad there. Got the result right for Man City Arsenal. City kind of scored early, and I thought they was kind of going to go on a rout, but they kind of just sat back and didn't really do too much. United 3-1 win over Newcastle. We predicted a 2-0. Would have liked a clean sheet, but nonetheless. Crystal Palace scoring 2 goals from 2 touches. How do you like that? And both goals were actually fantastic. So, yeah, not too bad there for good old Crystal Palace. So we got that one wrong. And then Leeds versus Southampton 2-2. Leeds ended up just kind of thrashing them 3-0. Once Romeo went off the pitch, it kind of unraveled for them. So overall, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 points total. The way the scoring works, if you get an exact score right, 3 points. If you get the result right, 1 point. And if you get anything else, it's 0 points. Clean sheet. Brighton did not keep a clean sheet. Areola did do well. Vestergaard, I think he got booked in both games and conceded, so not great there. Harrison was unlucky to come away with nothing. And Giroud, I kind of want to give him a tick because he technically scored, but it was an overhead kick in the Champions League, so can't really credit that there. So 1 out of 5. But that was a great goal. But yeah, I would give it to him personally. But yeah, 9 points, not too bad there. Barchester United top scorer Bruno Fernandes. See, the thing is, right? So there was something I saw that was posted by whatchamacallit, by ESPN, where it's like United have had the most overturned calls by VAR. Well, that's good. That means the referees are getting the decision wrong in the first place more often in United games than any other team. Makes sense to me. So the referees are not giving the United players the calls, and then VAR has to intervene and say, no, you messed up more times than not for United, which is a good thing, technically. Also, when you have someone as good as taking penalties as Bruno, you know, there's certain players that find taking penalties very hard. You know, Man City is one of them. Literally, Man City should go spend 60 million on a penalty taker. That's what they should do. Have him play left back or something. Rafinha for United, right wing. Forget Sancho. I mean, I definitely take Rafinha at right wing. Sit down, Bruno haters. Exactly. If you go on my Twitter timeline and you scroll down, there's actually a funny video. It's this dude playing on the drum, and there's a cat bobbing his head up and down. And it's basically the dude playing the drum is Bruno, the drum is a penalty, and the cat bobbing up and down is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is hilarious. Hopefully no one gets hurt in the City game tomorrow, because I'm looking forward to De Bruyne especially. Yeah, I don't think they'll play De Bruyne tomorrow. Maybe he gets, like, you know, a half or something. Maybe they try to go 3-0 up and then they take off all their big guns. Because they have 5 subs in the Champions League too, so. Penalty merchant, I mean, he scored a great goal, what was it, the other day against Everton. That didn't look like a penalty to me. I have McCarthy in goal, hope for a clean sheet in one of those games. Yeah, that was not likely to happen personally. Chelsea was definitely not going to happen, and Leeds was probably not going to happen either. Tuchel have won more Champions League wins than Solskjaer after 7 games. That's I don't think that's true, because Solskjaer won his first game in the Champions League, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if that's exactly right, but oh, in the knockout stages, well, yeah, maybe. But I mean, Solskjaer has also beaten Tuchel, so in the knockout stages, so you win some, you lose some. They have Ederson, the best penalty taker. Yo, I hope Ederson takes a penalty. I would love to see that. That'd be great. Just need the cat jam emote in chat, the one that you talked about. Can we type that in? Is there a cat jam emote? I would love to have that. That'd be great. How do I add it? Someone's gonna have to tell me how to add it. Is it like from Better Twitch TV? I would love to add that emote. That'd be great. Cat Jam and Rat Jam. You need better Twitch. Okay, so that's something I have to add myself. Okay, I'll make sure to add that. I'll write that. I'll put it in the notepad after we go over the score predictions afterwards to make sure I do it. Should we keep 3 City players even with rotations? I have 2 defenders. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they have 2 doubles against 2 teams where they could easily keep clean sheets. So, yeah. On Ederson, he has to be better than any City defender. I mean, you know he's going to play 2 games in a row, and if they keep a clean sheet, then... I mean, Ederson's basically 6 points. Nothing more, nothing less. Almost certainly. But yeah, I'll have to add that, that email. I don't think I can do it right now, but, yeah, I'll have to do it later. But yeah, a lot of people went for Ederson as well. I think Ederson, Diaz, De Bruyne is probably going to be the safest 3. Because you can always downgrade De Bruyne to Gundogan. If you wanted to go more attack, I would say Ederson, De Bruyne, Gundogan. The problem is that some defender slots are a bit tricky to have right now if you're bench boosting. If you're not bench boosting, then you kind of do whatever you want. But De Bruyne does take up one of your kind of premium slots, as it were. But yeah. Prediction time. All right. First off, right off the bat, speaking of Man City versus West Ham. What are we saying for this one? Unpopular opinion, Vardy will outscore Kane over the next 3 game weeks. Very possible. But I could have both. Would you recommend Son plus Kane or Kane plus another mid? I think Son plus Kane. Over for the next 3 game weeks. The next 3 matches, I would say. So 2 game weeks. 3-0 City, says Zaka. Do you think they're going to score 3 versus West Ham? I don't know. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. 2-0. 2-1. I think probably 2-0. Another 2-0 for City. Hopefully De Bruyne to Gundogan, Gundogan to De Bruyne. That'd be nice for me. Maybe Cancelo gets a clean, not a clean sheet, but well, actually, I hope he gets 2 clean sheets, but maybe gets a little assist in there. Nah, I still think Son. I still think Son, because with Son, he's very unlikely to get hooked. Whereas Barnes could potentially get substituted, and versus Arsenal and Burnley, like I'm probably gonna go for Barnes, but against I think Son is still. Like, him and Kane, the way they link up is just something different, you know? I believe I'm not going to play Tottenham in 26 and watch them get 2 shots per game and hope Kane gets 1 of those shots. Not a fan of boring football. Yeah, but they could have 3 shots on target. If all of them go in, then you're laughing, you know? West Brom versus Brighton. What are we saying for this one? Probably a 1-0 Brighton. I don't know. Maybe West Brom could get something from this. 1-1 says Zodiac, 1-0 says Zaka. I'm more just don't want to lose rank because it's a shield pick. I mean, yeah. It depends on who you're backing. 2-0 Brighton. 2-0 Brighton not scoring, West Brom fighting. I mean, Brighton scored 2 pretty well-crafted goals versus Crystal Palace. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to be a little bit edgy on this one. A little 1-1. I'm going to go with Zodiac here. Leeds versus Aston Villa. Now, this could be a game with potentially no Calvin Phillips. Potentially no Grealish as well. No Matty Cash as well, I think, in this one. 2-2. High scoring. Yeah, both defenses aren't looking too good at the moment. 2-2. Yeah, I think 2-2 could be a... Yeah, it does depend on Grealish. I think they said that Grealish is definitely out for this one. I think they definitely said that Grealish is out for this one. I'm probably gonna go 2-2 because both teams are a bit, you know, bad defensively and they can just concede. Tottenham out of form with tougher fixtures than it looks. Son and Kane not in form. Well, the thing is, Son and Kane have also exceeded their XG, like an XGI, the whole season. So they could be out of form, and then Kane could score a hat trick. Definitely possible. Newcastle versus Wolves. Oh, they put, of all the games to put in the afternoon on a Saturday, Newcastle versus Wolves has got to be one of the worst ones. Honestly, I think this could be a 1-0 Wolves. Wolves are a better defensive team than United. I'm going to go 1-0 Wolves, honestly. I genuinely think Wolves, like Newcastle, just ain't scoring. Like, United pretty much gave them a goal because lack of defending leading up to the set piece, and then on the set piece, De Gea could have came out and grabbed it on a 6-yard box, but let Maguire have it, who then just nodded it on, and then nobody in the entire 18-yard box was 10 yards of St. Maximin, basically. So, yeah. I just think Kane and Son can bang a few in one of those two games. It's definitely possible. They have to win these two or their whole season's over. That's basically what I'm going off of as well. But yeah. Crystal Palace versus Fulham. And we'll do Crystal Palace versus Fulham and Leicester versus Arsenal at the same time. Because they're at the same times on the Sunday. So I don't have to watch Crystal Palace versus Fulham. I can just kind of close my eyes on that one, and hopefully Fulham come away with a clean sheet, because that's what I'm banking on. I think a 1-0 Fulham is probably on the cards again. I went with 2-0 last time. Actually, I'm back at 2-0. I think they score, and I think they're good enough defensively. And then Leicester versus Arsenal. Well, I know Leicester's scoring at least one if Jamie Vardy's fit, because he always scores versus Arsenal. 3-1 Vardy party. 2-0 Leicester. I just don't see a way where Arsenal score unless Leicester give them something really, really free. Just don't see it. I'm probably just going to go with a 2-0 Leicester win. Probably a 2-0 Leicester win. Maybe Arsenal get something. Like, just, you know, they nick something, but probably nothing there. Spurs versus where are we to? There we are. Spurs versus Burnley. What are we saying for this one? 1-0, 2-0, something like that. 3-0. No Spurs. No 2-1. I wish it's 4-0. 4-0 with a Kane hat trick. Or we could see Son doing this again. That'd be great too. I think probably 2-0 Spurs. I think it's probably quite comfortable for them. Just being realistic. Chelsea, Man United. I think this is either going to be a 0-0 or 1-0 either way. Yeah, Bonner agrees. 2-0 Spurs. Chelsea, Man United. 10-0 says Zaka. It's because he's a Chelsea fan. I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried about this game. I think Chelsea can beat us. Definitely can beat us. Bale has to start. I think if Bale starting is actually good for Kane, which is another reason, because Kane relies less on having to do the creative work and more of getting in the box near the goal kind of work, which is what we want. 1-1, 2-0, 1-0 Chelsea, 1-1. I'm gonna sit on the fence. I'm gonna go 1-1. I think both teams will probably concede. Chelsea did look good today, but again, they're also going to be playing versus a team that is they just played against a team that's better than United defensively. But United's attack is way better. So it's going to be interesting because Chelsea like to retain a lot of the ball. They're definitely going to retain a lot of the ball at home. Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. Chelsea will have a few days extra rest, though, which is nice for them. Because United have to play on Thursday. Mind you, United should play their rotated team. So we'll see on that front. Liverpool versus Sheffield United. Surely Liverpool can't lose this. Surely Liverpool cannot lose this. 1-0 Sheffield United. I don't see it. Zodiac says 2-0. I hope that's 2-0 Liverpool, surely. The Spanish league is also poor. 2-0 Sheffield. Surely Sheffield United doesn't beat Liverpool. Liverpool aren't that bad. Surely not. It's away from home as well. Remember, it's not at home. It's away from home. So they got a better chance. Surely Liverpool get a 2-0 win. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. I'm going to say 2-0 Liverpool. I think Liverpool are quite comfortable in this game. Surely. Sheffield United are going down. Almost certainly. Everton versus Southampton. Now this one could be interesting. Because James is fit. DCL is fit. Alan is fit. Decore is back. Digne is back. 3-0 Everton. You don't fear us at all, which is hilarious. Mono's a United fan. But yeah, I think United should be genuinely worried about playing Chelsea at the moment. 3-0 Everton. I think Southampton will probably nick one. Maybe Jordan Henderson makes a mistake or something. I'm going to say 3-1. Just depends on what Everton show up. Because for the first half, Southampton looked very good versus Leeds. And maybe they make Everton make a mistake and then Everton kind of switches on and then just goes, gung-ho. But the one player that I'm probably not going to be able to have in, assuming things go to plan, is DCL, which is kind of unfortunate. Man City versus Wolves, probably another 2-0 win, I would think. Here, probably should be quite comfortable. 3-0 City, 2-0 City. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. It's pretty straightforward. Pretty easy stuff, I think, personally. Why worry they got out of jail versus Saints? To be fair, the Saints got 1 point in their last 8 games that they've played. And that 1 point was versus Chelsea, so. Burnley versus Leicester. Should be a Leicester clean sheet. Maybe a couple of goals. Maybe another 2-0. Leicester have Europa League, so might rotate a little. Well, it depends on it depends on how strong they go in Europa League. Because I don't know does anyone know which fixture they played? Was it their home or their away leg first? Because I know it was 0-0. But I still think Leicester, they're gonna field a pretty full-strength team in this game, surely. Maybe they start with Iheanacho up front in Europa League and then have Vardy play both in the league. Leicester was away. Kind of benefits them a little bit, I guess. Thursday night football is where it's at. No, Thursday to Sunday night is minging. It is terrible. Sheffield United versus Aston Villa. This should be a clean sheet for Aston Villa, I would think. I mean, Martinez, owners should be happy. I think a 1-0, 2-0. Maybe Grealish is back for this game too. 1-1, Grealish is out. Sheffield would have to do something. 2-1, says Zodiac. I think Aston Villa keep a clean sheet. I don't see, personally, I don't think Sheffield United can score basically at any point in any game unless the team makes a pretty bad mistake, like United as an example. Both the goals that Sheffield United scored were just terrible mistakes by United. You'll be lucky to make Thursday night football next season. Oh, they talk about Chelsea. Oh, man. Well, technically, anyone who's in the Champions League currently can get Champions League football. They just got to win the whole thing and somehow beat Bayern and City. So, good luck with that. Crystal Palace versus Man United. This is the juicy Bruno Fernandes fixture. Probably the main reason why you captain him. United should keep a clean sheet versus Palace. Sheffield is so bad they could get relegated to League One after the season. Honestly, I think once they get all their players back, they'll probably come right back up, to be honest. United will go on the group stage anyway. I mean, it happens. But I actually hope not Sheffield United. I hope Chelsea beat Atletico Madrid because I hate watching Atletico Madrid play. They're basically a glorified Jose Mourinho, Inter Milan team, just with less attacking threats, kind of. Like, you have João Felix and then nobody else. Whereas at least his Inter Milan team was very good defensively, but also had, like, Schneider and Milito and players like that. I'd rather watch Sheffield United than Newcastle. I mean, yeah, that's also true. But yeah, I think a 2-0 United is probably okay. Well, because the board won't back us. Yeah, I mean, that's also true. Fulham versus Spurs. I think Fulham score, probably. 0-0. I don't think there's a clean sheet in this one for this game. Fulham fighting 1-1. Hope Spurs 3-0. I think it was a 1-1 last time they played, I think. I'm going to say Spurs just shaded. I'm going to go 2-1. Rather watch West Brom than Spurs in the Premier League. Also, not false. Well, luckily, you don't have to watch Spurs versus Fulham. You can watch Everton versus West Brom, which I think is going to be destruction. I think 3-0 Everton. I think they're going to do quite well. And then lastly, Liverpool versus Chelsea. Can Liverpool win a game at home is the question. And I think the answer is no. I suspect Chelsea will win this game. I'm going to go... Zodiac says 2-1 Liverpool. 1-1. I'm going to go with a very, very marginal 1-0 win for Chelsea. That's what I'm going to go with. Very, very marginal 1-0 win. That's just based off form. Clean sheet this week. Who are we going with here? Let's go with a team that you wouldn't normally suspect to have a clean sheet. Well, let's go with Leicester, because not many people have defenders from that. Chelsea's not as good as they look, to be honest, and Liverpool is not as bad as they look, just my opinion. I think Liverpool are pretty bad, to be honest. Goalkeeper. Let me move this across. Technically, Areola is still a differential. I'm going to go with Areola again, to be honest. Because it's a very good... he's a very good bench goalkeeper this week. So Areola at 4.2%. Ricardo Pereira. Glad I can put him on here. Pereira for Leicester. And he's 0.7% owned. Interesting. In midfield... Who we got for potential midfield differentials? 12%, 16%. Neto's even 6.9%. There's a lot of midfielders that are over 5% owned, and that's mainly because midfield is the place to go. Mars at 3.1%. That's definitely a differential that I can see doing well. Mars is the type of player that you never want to own in fantasy, but can do really well on his day. So I'm going to go with Mars. And then up front, Watkins is 20-something% owned. There's not many double game week forwards that are that have a double. Even Richarlison's 7% owned. Might have to go with a percentage over 5% here, which is a bit unfortunate. Even though I don't want to go for it. I would say Chris Wood if he was available as a differential. Oh, Diagne, yes! Perfect. Of course. Who does he play? Brighton and Everton. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, chat. Diagne from West Brom, and he's 0.5% owned. There you go. So yeah, that's our differential picks there. So we'll post that over on Twitter, and then also get better Twitch TV emotes for Cat Jam. There we go. Made a note for myself. Chelsea on their high horses after tonight. Yeah, possibly. Mourinho is done. Yeah, I think so. Potentially. Who would get? Who will score from Chelsea if they don't get a penalty? No one. Mason Mount could score a free kick. Fulham player, yeah, maybe Maja as well. Could be a differential pick. Everyone hating on the only English team that could be the Atletico Madrid away from home. Don't you love to see it? Well, technically they weren't at home. Technically. When you see PSG went 4-1 Barca away, you know there's something wrong in Spain. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a problem. But yeah, Diagne was a good shout. But yeah, this is the team as it stands. So basically, we got the captaincy currently on De Bruyne. It's not going to stay there, almost certainly. So basically what my bench boost would actually look like. So this is what, I'm just going to shift this around but not save the team. So put you there, put you there. So that's basically what the bench boost team would look like. So that's what I would be bench boosting. Areola, Lookman, Aina, all with Crystal Palace and Spurs as their fixtures, and then Shaw. Because the other defenders, Pereira, Cancelo, and Target, I would probably play over Shaw, probably. And then Rafinha, Bamford, and Ings are going to make way for double game week players this game week. So I can show you what that looks like. So we have 8.4 million in the bank, got a lot in the bank. Rafinha would make way. Ings would make way. And Bamford would make way. And we have enough to do Kane. We have enough to do Vardy. And we have enough to do Madison at the moment for exact money. But I'm waiting to see if he's fit. If there's some price changes or whatever, then we always have enough money to go to Barnes as well, with money to spare. If we wanted to potentially do Bruno, then it's a bit trickier, because if we were to go, let's say Vardy, hypothetically, then 6.8 million, we'd have to probably hang on to what's his name? Bamford, probably. So probably not great there either. And then if one of Kane or Vardy were to get injured or for whatever, then I could just do DCL instead. But yeah, that would be for a -8, yeah. And then basically when you look at it, so if you look at this bench, so this bench is what you need to basically pay attention to. So can Areola and Aina get a clean sheet versus Palace? Yes, okay. So saying without bonus points, that's 6 points per player. Then they say, let's say they get 1 point. Let's say Spurs win 2-0. So Lookman will get 2 points versus Spurs. Aina will get 1. Areola will get 1. Lookman, let's say he doesn't score, but he keeps the clean sheet. 3 points for Lookman. Aina gets 6 points, no bonus. Let's say Areola gets 6 points, no saves, no bonus. So that's 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 plus 2 is 5. Added on to the 7, that's 12. Plus Aina's 6 is 18. Plus Aina's 1 versus Spurs is 19. So can Shaw, with a -8, get 4 points versus Crystal Palace and Chelsea? I think so. So basically, if Aina, Areola, and Shaw keep a clean sheet versus Palace, basically, which isn't out of the realms of possibility, maybe United keep a clean sheet in both games, then you're looking okay. Because if you're looking at like who would I genuinely put on the bench instead of those players, well, all 3 Fulham you're going to put on there, guaranteed. And then you're kind of saying, is Shaw or Target better? I think Target's better because he's playing against a team like Sheffield United, like Shaw. And then he's up against Leeds as well, who can be good. But are they as good as Chelsea? Probably not. Cancelo, you're definitely going to start him. Pereira's up against 2 teams that don't really score goals. So Shaw's probably going to be the player that makes way to the bench, because you're definitely playing Watkins, you're definitely playing Vardy if he comes in for Ings, you're definitely playing Kane over in Bamford's position, you're definitely playing Barnes or Maddison in Rafinha's position, you're playing Gundogan, you're playing De Bruyne, you're playing Son. So yeah. And does Shaw play in the Europa League? No. Is he going to play in both Premier League games? Almost certainly. So yeah. And then the captaincy would go on Kane. But yeah, that would be kind of the the situation there. The reason I have it set up in this way is because the color coding for the team. So basically, once I bring Kane in, it'll be a whole bunch of Leicester players on this side, and then like Spurs / Fulham players on this side, and it makes it nice and symmetrical. That's the only reason I did it. But yeah. They were away from home either way. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. What is your? I mean, that's the thing, right? When you think think of United versus Sociedad, they basically have to play away at Juventus and away at Man United, kind of. It's kind of unfair for those teams because of their governments not wanting to let English teams in, which is kind of weird because they do tests for this stuff anyway, so it's a bit weird. Gameweek 26 transfer plans. Yeah, I just went over it, but basically it's Rafinha, Bamford, Ings make way for a combination of Vardy and Kane with Barnes or Maddison. I have enough money for both at the moment. And then I would captain Kane. Tempted the bench boost with Rafinha and Bamford. I mean, with Matty Cash out, maybe. But, you know, it could be one of those games where Leeds just batter the goal and Martinez gets a bunch of saves and then you end up with nothing. So, it is what it is. But yeah, that would be the team there. The other alternatives, if I'm not feeling Vardy or Kane, then I can go DCL instead, who also has a good double. But I know that one of those, at least two of those three are going to be really good, so I'm just picking two out of the three there. And then in 27, I won't do anything. And then in 28, I would get rid of Kane and Son. And I would bring in Fernandez. And if Werner is looking good, I could potentially bring him in. Or I could bring in Calvert-Lewin back if I wanted to. If he has a double in 28. Because he would play Burnley at home, which is a pretty good fixture. He would then have Crystal Palace and Brighton. And then we can get rid of him for somebody else later on. Would you recommend Kane triple captain versus the two leads on the bench boost? Yeah, I would say so. Triple captain Kane's probably better than that. It depends on who your two other bench players are. So one of those bench players is going to be a goalkeeper. Yeah. Week 29 blank. What are your plans if you're if I'm taking out Spurs? Free hit. Free hit game week 29. I still have the free hit. I will be using the bench boost obviously in this game week. And then I still have the triple captaincy chip. So I wildcarded last week, bench boosting this week, free hitting in 29, and then triple captaining wherever else. But yeah, and the plan is to get Fernandez, like I said, back in 28 by getting rid of the Spurs players. Because basically, if Spurs do nothing versus Burnley at home, Fulham away, then they're just going to put all their eggs in the Europa League basket, basically. Like, if they can't do anything versus Burnley at home, Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home, they're not going to do it. Maybe bring it back in for Sheffield United and Leeds, but apart from that, probably not. And then you obviously on a free hit, you're going to have Kane and Son, because everyone's going to have Kane and Son, and that just makes the most sense. But yeah. Yeah, that's the idea. My poor Spurs, but you're right. Oh, you're a Spurs fan? Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, these are the fixtures that you're kind of these are the fixtures that you want These are the fixtures that everyone's been eyeing up. When Burnley versus Fulham, Burnley and Fulham got put for Spurs as a double game week, everyone was happy. Everyone's thinking this is Kane fixture. But now that Fernandes has got a goal assist, people are thinking that. Obviously, the City boys, they could be a good captaincy option this week. Like, it depends on how sharp City look versus Mönchengladbach that I could be swayed, as it were. Because De Bruyne is going to play pretty much every game. De Bruyne very rarely gets benched. If he plays 60 minutes and then gets taken off versus Gladbach after they're 3-0 up or something, I might be swayed, depending on how good City play. But almost certainly, like I would say 95% captaincy on Kane. Everyone's been looking at these fixtures. If they can't do it in these two fixtures, then I don't know what they're going to do. I have 3 Leeds and 2 Saints and 2 West Ham before any transfers, so lots for me to think about, but the bench boost looks out. Yeah, basically what you're just going to do is you're going to look down the line where you say, I'm going to have players on my bench, whether it be a goalkeeper and 3 players that have really good fixtures or pretty good enough fixtures. Can I get 15 points out of that bench? And when you think about it, most times you're playing 2 defenders, 1 midfielder on that bench. If 2 of those defenders get a clean sheet, you got that 15 points pretty much. That's basically all you're looking for. Because the other 2 players are going to get you probably 2 points, which is 16 points. So that's what you're kind of looking for. Do you think KDB and Gundogan will keep playing together? Yeah, of course. Pep's best midfield is KDB, Gundogan, and Rodri. That was evident. Like, if you look at... So if we look at... I'm going to bring up City's team here. So we go to Man City. So we got Man City. So Gundogan. So when Gundogan started playing regularly, which was in game week 13, 90 minutes, 90 minutes, 90 minutes, 74, 90 minutes, 70 minutes, 90 minutes. This is the game that KDB gets injured. So we're looking at from game week 13 to game week 19. Kevin De Bruyne. 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 85, 90, 70, 58 where he got injured. Rodri. 90, 90, 56. I think he came up with a knock in that game. 90, 90. I think he played a game before that, so he got rested. Fernandinho, 90, 90. But pretty much Rodri plays basically every game. So does De Bruyne. So does Gundogan. They will play pretty much every game together if they can. I'm thinking game week 29 already. Yep. Definitely have to. Ings was the worst transfer in the last couple of weeks. Expensive, epic fail. Debating to holding for 27. Well, you can't expect them to score versus City. So you have to think, is Ings going to do well versus Sheffield United away? Maybe, but he could get arrested for it too. So, because we've seen that clearly he's not, a assured starter now. He'll probably start the rest of the games, but he's also been an injury-prone player too, so he's not going to be in my team. I don't think. I think he's definitely going to be a risk. Thank you for stopping by, sharing, and thank you for following as well. Yeah, probably about to wrap up the stream here, but yeah, we're definitely going to be back for the deadline. No video tomorrow and Friday, but I will have Pep Roulette out on Thursday. So make sure to come check us out for the deadline stream on Saturday. If you're enjoying Pep Roulette, go check that out because I'll be looking at the Man City game quite closely for their game versus Mönchengladbach. Also, Spurs play tomorrow, so if you're looking to look at Spurs assets, they play tomorrow as well. It's a bit weird. It's only one Europa League game, but all the rest play on Thursday. I think that's happened once before last season with United. It's a bit weird. But yeah, they play tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. And then Leicester plays on Thursday in Europa League. So those are kind of the 3 main ones that everyone's kind of looking at. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled for those. But yeah, we will be back on Saturday for the deadline stream. 1 hour before, it will be 5 a.m. EST as per normal. 1 hour before the FPL deadline, which is 6 a.m. EST. So 5 a.m. EST is when we'll be back. So make sure to come with your questions. I'll have probably made my transfers by then. I'll probably do them Friday night, just because of the fact that I can get some price rises. I'm going to wait basically until as long as I can, if I see that certain players are going to be going up and down in price. So like if let's say Bamford goes up 0.1 more before I sell him, then I get an extra 0.1 to sell him for. Same for Rafinha. Same for Ings. So yeah, we'll just keep monitoring that. But for now, looks like Kane, Vardy, and Barnes or Madison are going to be the ones coming in. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for those games. If you're watching this over on YouTube, we do these streams over on Twitch. PilotFlame226, links in the description. Come check us out for the deadline stream, and make sure to follow us on Twitter and Twitch so that you can see when we do go live. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.